How high is too high for Najee Harris in 2021? Upcoming last minute, final 11th hour drafts. I'll tell you in this episode. And if you've already drafted and you don't own Najee, you didn't listen to me, and you let somebody else take him at 9 or 10 overall because you were too scared to. What can you give up to get him? What is too much in a trade to give up for Najee Harris if you were late to the party? I'm going to break down all of that and more. The Fantasy Football Show begins now.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Top 5 running back.
You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.
Smitty. Take a lap. Najee Harris is worth a ton. And I don't care what anybody thinks about how high I have Najee Harris. I just don't care at all. My job isn't to please other people with my team. Talking as an owner, not even as an analyst, as an owner, it's not my job to worry about what Frank or Bob from accounting or grandma or anybody thinks about my team. I want to take the guy I believe is going to explode. Now, there is a balance between taking advantage of every pick in every draft, maximizing value, trying to get Najee Harris as deep as you can get him in a draft. Top of round 2 would be ideal. Middle of round 2 would be the most ideal, but kind of unlikely to happen at this point. So you got to ask yourself, hey, Smitty, when do I run the risk of not maximizing value and pulling the trigger too early on a guy like Najee? Honestly, I don't think you can pull the trigger too high on Najee Harris because right now, to me, he has first round value. Right now, to me, after McCaffrey, Kamara, Elliott, Cook, after the big 4 off the board, you're not crazy to start contemplating going Najee Harris. In fact, I have done it before. Don't tell anybody. I'm not going to admit this, but I may or may not know of a guy who just took Najee Harris at pick number 5 in a redraft league. Smitty, over Barkley? Over Henry? Over Nick Chubb? Eckler? Aaron Jones? Adams? I really don't care what other people think of my player or picks. If you don't think people laughed at my AJ Brown drafting last year, DK Metcalf drafting last year, Clyde EdwardsHelaire drafting... Can we cut that? Reaches can happen. And sometimes we miss, sometimes we land players. And I know a lot of people are going to go, well, Smitty, exactly what you just said and tried to cut out. Clyde EdwardsHelaire. Ring a bell? I'm tired of people comparing Clyde and Najee. I'm tired of people saying, what happened to Clyde is probably going to happen to Najee Harris, Smitty. One thing has nothing to do with the other. Yeah, we can take stuff from rookie data and historical data and transfer it over to try and predict a model for what could happen for other rookie running backs. But to actually look at last year, the pandemic offseason, no preseason, no pass protection being learned by any of these rookies, and to try and paint a picture for the incoming 2021 rookie class using all of that information is asinine. Clyde EdwardsHelaire's rookie year has nothing to do with Najee Harris's rookie year. Najee Harris is so much further along in his pass protection work and his PPR involvement. It's not even funny. Clyde EdwardsHelaire didn't have a shot, and that's on us, but we all, as an industry, walked into that, and we didn't know what we were dealing with. I did caution people that rookies could be slow starting, but I admit I thought Clyde would have been further along, getting a kung fu grip on some PPR work as a rookie.
Warning, warning, insert Clyde EdwardsHelaire tangent.
Clyde will be fine. I'll do a whole nother video on Clyde. Clyde will be fine. He's learning all of that now. The KC playbook is super complicated, and he's walking into a 2021 season, Clyde EdwardsHelaire, where he's going to be protected into the PPR work and not able to be game scripted out if the Chiefs go pass heavy in 2021 at any point. Clyde will be fine. Clyde will earn the value we all thought he could have earned last year in 2021. Don't pay first round value. Clyde falls to the end of round 2, sometimes top of round 3, but with the injury to JK and all the other injuries, Clyde's getting pulled up into the 15 to 18 range on the regular, and he's well worth that value.
Wow.
Back to Najee.
Smitty, we drafted Clyde in the first round. It was a big mistake. I know what you just said, but I'm going to ignore what you just said. I'm going to ask the question anyway because I don't listen very well. Smitty, aren't we running the risk?
I swear people do this to me. I produce a 15, 20-minute video, and they literally after say the same thing.
Smitty, I understand what you're saying, but is it possible that we're looking at another Clyde EdwardsHelaire?
I swear to you, that question is going to be asked 100 times, whether it's through an email, a DM, or a comment. No, stop comparing the two. Najee looks very involved in the PPR aspects of this Steeler offense. Big Ben looks better than any of us thought he was going to look walking into this preseason. So I'm feeling very good about Big Ben. I'm feeling very good about where the offensive line could be compared to where we thought it was going to be. And let me tell you, as much as I've crapped on the offensive line here and there throughout the offseason, admittedly, I admit when I changed directions, and I've changed directions a couple different times on Najee. Not that I haven't loved Najee all offseason, but I've been like, okay, he's top 11 to 12. Okay, DeCastro was cut. We got to be careful about making him a first rounder right now. He needs to be 13 to 15. I did say that. Admittedly, I did say that when DeCastro was cut. As I've absorbed more, as I've analyzed more, as I've witnessed Najee in the preseason, I've adjusted and adapted. All of you need to do that. We need to stop being so, my feet are cemented into my stance and I don't budge for anything. Or when you ask that data analyst that doesn't go off gut instinct at all, who's your running back 7?
Oh, according to my spreadsheet, which doesn't change whatsoever because it's based off statistics only. In fact, I don't even watch the games, to be honest with you.
That guy isn't going to waver at all. I'm going to waver. You can call it whatever you want. Oh, Smitty's backtracking. It's called being real. It's called being a human being. It's called being reactive. And I've been a little bit all over on Najee Harris. He has never fallen out of my top 14 or 15 overall. I've loved him all offseason long. But I admit, I've been pushing him back and forth in the 11 to 15 range all offseason. Now, I'm prepared based on what I've seen in the preseason. Not that preseason should dictate anything, but the fact that the offensive line looks better than we thought. Big Ben looks better than we thought. The offense will move the football down the field, and the best cure for a bad offensive line is stretching the field and keeping defenses honest and occupied. You got Claypool, you got Juju, you got Deontay Johnson, you've got Freiermuth, you've got a bunch of options that are going to keep defenses busy, and that means that Najee Harris is going to have more room to run than anybody ever thought. And when they're down and needing to pass the football, Najee Harris will be embedded in the PPR work. He is a locked and loaded PPR monster. It would not shock me at all if Najee Harris was top 5, a cup of coffee all year long with the top 5 running backs in total touches in 2021. The only risk I have at all for Najee right now is injury, because rookies get overworked. They're used to a short college season.
That's right.
He's going to get another extra game than any other rookie running back has ever had. So he could hit a rookie wall come double-digit weeks, but rebound and push through a rookie wall, and Najee could do that. I love Najee Harris. I'm not afraid or ashamed to admit that after the top 4 running backs are gone, if I don't feel like running backs are going to fall a certain way in round 2, where I'm going to get a Clyde or a Gibson or anybody near that value, I'm not afraid to pull that trigger early on Najee Harris and take him in the middle to late round 1, and I could care less who thinks it's early.
You know,
I could care less if Bob or Bill or Grandma or even you, Uncle Bob, I could care less what any of you think about it.
Smitty, I don't know a lot about fantasy football. I know everything about fantasy football.
I won't, and I urge you not to let anybody influence you out of eyeball emojis in digital drafts or eye rolls and belly laughs and chuckles in your real draft from people that don't know even what they're doing. Magazine drafters are making you feel like, oh, you can't be bold or draft Najee too high. Najee will be a volume king, and I want shares everywhere. In existing leagues where you didn't get Najee because you got cold feet and you went, Barkley!
I'll draft Barkley!
No! Why'd I do that? In those leagues, I don't really know what to tell you other than to try and trade that player for Najee Harris straight up. If that doesn't work, that's why I got HeySmitty.com. Order it. We'll talk about it. We'll cook up a trade. But Najee Harris is a running back one. Najee Harris is a first round overall pick in my mind. Anybody that drafted Najee, especially if they watch the fantasy football show, they're not going to give him up easily. They took him for a reason. You can try to get him in existing leagues, but it's going to be really hard. I want everybody to go on over to Smitty1.com, which is right here, and click on this Prize Picks banner and join Prize Picks today. You will get up to $100 match on your first deposit. You will get a free phone call from me. We can talk about your team, how to make some trades if things didn't go great in your draft, how to acquire big talent using a bunch of bench that I told you to draft and stockpile, and you're ready to make a big move and upgrade. Let me know. All you got to do is drop a $20 minimum deposit on a first-time deposit on Prize Picks, going to Smitty1.com and clicking on this exact banner. Should you not listen to me and venture over there without going through the link on Smitty1.com, use promo code Smitty. Make sure promo code Smitty is entered so you get your bonus match up to $100 and your free phone call from me. And right now at Prize Picks, you could do the 58.5 rushing over on Zeke Elliott in week 1. I know that's Tampa Bay, but I like over 58.5 yards on that. I'm not sure how you guys feel. And Dalvin Cook, 94.5 against the Bengals. Give me the over on that. Najee Harris, 57.5. Give me the over on that against Buffalo. And you put all that on one contest. Najee over, Zeke over, and Cook over. And then you make that a 5 times multiplier by checking the box saying you need to get all 3 of them right. And then drop the over on them individually to kind of like protect you. And that way, if Najee is over and Cook is over and then Elliott's not, you don't miss out on all that goodness. You can get each one individually and do the 3 combo where they all have to hit. It's seriously, this is a sponsor of mine, Prize Picks, but it's such a fun way to have an extra piece of fantasy football goodness on Sunday. Let's say, how many times is your week kind of going bad? Maybe your season's going to go good, or you get hit with injury and your whole season's done anyway. That happens. But even if you have a good year, you have a good team, you can have a bad week. This can make your Sunday fun if all other things are going bad for you. So go over. It costs $20. It helps the channel. Minimum deposit. They'll match the 20. They'll match everything up to $100 on your first deposit. You get the phone call from me, and you get to play prop contests that will help you keep Sunday fun no matter what. It gives you just something else to root for. Smitty1.com, click on this banner with the football player number 40 in it. Go do it. And order my text service at HeySmitty.com. Catch me every Tuesday and Thursday live here on the channel, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern, every single Tuesday and Thursday. And I'm live going forward. I'm live every Friday night and every Saturday night, late night, doing Q&A with all of you. So join me Tuesday, Thursday, I'm live. Friday, Saturday, I'm live. And I'm live every Sunday morning on Instagram. Follow me on IG at The Fantasy Football Show. Am I live all the time now moving forward? What's going on with my schedule?
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Top 5 running back.
You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.
Smitty!